Hey y'all, Donnie of DOA. One of the questions I get from clients while fishing is how do you get into the guide business? I always tell people the fishing takes care of itself. If you go enough, eventually you will learn something about catching. But to be legitimate, and you do want to be legitimate, you need to have your captain's license. If you plan on accepting payment for imparting your vast array of fishing knowledge, you need to get it. This is the first in this year's Shit You Gotta Know series, and it deals with the steps you need to go through to get your license. There are a number of different endorsements or levels you can attain, but I'm going to keep it simple and give you the steps to attain your basic Merchant Mariner Credential, or also known as the OUPV 6-pack license. Don't worry, if you can't keep up with all the steps, I'll post links in the description. To get your license, you have to be 18 years old. If you are 18, the first step to undertake is getting what is called a TWIC Card. TWIC stands for Transportation Workers Identification Card. This is issued by the TSA, Transportation Security Administration, the same people in charge of the airports. To apply, go to tsa.gov and find the application for the TWIC card. While filling out the application, find where the closest application center is. You will have to go to the center and provide a photograph, fingerprints, and they will do a background check. The fee for the TWIC card is somewhere around $130. Once again, go ahead and make this your first step because the TWIC process alone can take up to 8 weeks. While waiting for your TWIC card to show up, get started on the application packet for your 6-pack. There is an application process for this, and it also starts with CG 719, that's the form. There are multiple forms that you'll have to submit, so start with this basic one in the 719 series and go from there. This and all of the following forms you will need can be found on the National Maritime Center's website. Once again, links are in the description. Other steps that need to be completed are a physical form filled out by a physician, a current drug test performed by an accepted facility, getting certified in CPR, the conviction statement form, where you come clean about all the dumb shit you did growing up, and your sea service forms. Quick tip, put all of your forms together and send them via email all at one time when they're completed. To be eligible for a near coastal 6-pack, you must have a minimum of 360 documented days on the water. 90 of these days must be in the ocean or near coastal area, and 90 must be within the last 3 years. A day counts as 8 hours on the water. 4 hours on the water would count as a half a day. Each person's sea service forms are going to be a little different, but the math is pretty straightforward. To receive your license, you also have to pass a 3-part test consisting solely of multiple choice questions. The 3 parts are rules of the road, which you have to get a 90 on, deck general, which you need a 70, and navigation requires a 70%. But there is also a subsection of navigation called plotting. This is a 90% pass section where you will have to answer plotting questions using parallel rulers. If you grew up with GPS, you may not even know what these are. Since this is the easiest section on the test to screw up on, you need to learn what they are and how to use them. To take the written test, you have a few options. You can take an online proctored exam. You can go to one of the Coast Guard's regional exam centers, or you can take it through a captain's license course or school. There are a multitude of schools available, and they do a good job of preparing you solely for taking and passing the written part of the test. Most of these schools will forward all of your application packet, or at least your test scores, to the Coast Guard's Maritime Center to get the process of receiving your credential rolling. Unless you are supremely confident in your abilities, taking a captain's license course is probably the way to go. Each school's price is a little different, but I tell people, man, between taking a course, your application packet fees, drug test, physical, TWIC card, CPR certification, and any other miscellaneous fees that need to be paid, you're still only going to be invested for a little over $1,000. All in all, this is a pretty cheap way to invest in your future. Dude, if you want one of these, this is shit you gotta know.